Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're going to be taking a look at my Spider-Man collection. Because it's the biggest collection of any one character that I have 83 different Spider-Man figures of varying kinds, and I'm just focusing on the ones that are actually Spider-Man. So, you know, Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Kane, Ben Reilly, those characters right there. I do have other Spider-Man related characters that are not those characters. We're not going to be talking about those today. We're going to talk about just those. This is going to be a long video, guys, so I just wanted to show you what I've got and just kind of talk about these figures. Right now what we're looking at is all the kind of alternate costumed versions of Spider-Man that I have that aren't either like the black suit or the Ben Reilly suit, or something more standard that we've seen many times, but kind of one-off suits or one-off characters that are still Spider-Man. First couple that we have here, we've got my Spider-Man 2099s right there, and then this guy right here. So this is the, I think this one, is this the retro? I can't remember if this is the retro or the original Spider-Man 2099 figure from back in the day. I don't remember how you tell the difference. Actually, I think this is the original. I don't think this is the retro one. I don't remember anymore, but it doesn't matter. So I've got this Spider-Man 2099 on the pizza, Spidey Buck. Love that figure. And then I've got these two right here. This one, of course, is the Marvel Legends from the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and this one is the SH Figuarts, or should I say this is the knockoff of the SH Figuarts, which is a really, really good figure. Like, it's ridiculously good considering I think I paid 16 bucks for him. I love that figure. It is much better than this one, and was actually cheaper than this one was here. I picked that one up on AliExpress. Love that figure. But we've got those. And I'm sure some figures are going to fall down. Don't worry about it. We've got my original PS4 Spider-Man right here. This is one of my favorite Spider-Man figures, hands down. I love this figure. This is a great one. This is not the new one that they released. This is, in my opinion, better than that new one that they put out there. We've got my Marvel Select Zombie Spider-Man, which I absolutely love this figure. I think this is a great looking figure. Not great articulation or anything like that, but just look at the detail on him. He looks fantastic. And we've got the inverted Spider-Man right here, the black and white Spider-Man. That looks pretty good. I dig him quite a bit. He looks great. One of my favorites right here is Cyborg Spider-Man. Love this guy. Remember this look from the Eric Larson run back in the 90s. I loved that run. I thought Eric Larson was kind of one of my favorite Spider-Man artists. I actually liked him better than McFarlane, even though I've heard a lot of really bad things about Eric Larson himself as a human being. But I love this look, and I was so happy when they came out with a modern version of this that looked so much like it did in the comics. So he looks great there. Also love this, the Spider Armor Mark, was this Mark 1? I don't remember if this is Mark 1 or not. Love this figure. I thought they did a fantastic job. Look at the shine on him. Looks great. The silver paint looks fantastic. We got the new Spider Shot here. This is a decent figure. It's got some issues. I talked about them in the review, but overall, I think it is a good figure. This figure right here, I shouldn't like. See, I told you there was stuff going to fall down. This figure here, I shouldn't like as much as I do, but I love this Webman. Is it Webman? I can't remember what his name is. I think it's Webman. But the reversed colors look really cool. I like it a lot, way more than I probably should. But, you know, there you go. It is what it is, I guess. So I got him. We'll take this one that just fell down here that I've got. This is an okay figure. I mean, it's got serious problems. I've got him kind of folded up, his arms all folded up so that he fits on the shelf, because his arms are kind of useless, to be honest. And the colors are all off on the red and the metallic, and it's just, this figure's got problems. I gotta be honest. As gangly looking as it is, I actually like the old Toy Biz one better, especially the translucent one, than I like this one. But, you know, I got that one, so I guess whatever. It is what it is. Let's kind of put him there and hope he doesn't fall down. Another one of my absolute favorite Spider-Man figures of all time. This was a grail for me for a long time. This is the old Toy Biz era, what did they call him? Cyber Spider-Man or something like that. Such a fantastic sculpt and paint job on this guy. And yes, he's got the ball hips and a little gangly looking, but because he's supposed to be, you know, a robot, it really, really works with this guy. I love this figure. One of my absolute favorites. We've got, this is like a newer Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Good sculpt. Costume's pretty cool, but you know, nothing that really pops or stands out about it, but it's a decent figure. This figure, which has a lot of problems if you saw my review, overall cool looking figure, but doesn't move like a Spider-Man figure should. That's the, what is that? What do they call him? Spider-Man Last Stand, right? That's his name there. We got these two right here, this one and this one, which are from the PS4 Spider-Man, I think, with the spider armor or the velocity suit, or the Spider-Man mark this and velocity suit that, and I don't know which one's which, to be honest. I liked the whole wave. I thought they were both pretty cool. I like this one better than this one. This one looks more like armor. This one looks like he has a plastic suit on. I don't know why. It's just kind of goofy looking a little bit. I mean, they're both okay, but I think this one's the cooler one, just in my opinion. I don't know, it looks more like armor. So I like that. Dig that one quite a bit. Then we've got Captain Universe. Love this. This was a cool run in the comics. Also a really good issue of What If back in the day. What if Spider-Man had kept the Captain Universe cosmic powers? If you never read that one, go read it. Really, really good story. Pretty basic figure, but not really a Spider-Man figure. He doesn't have all the articulation you want from a Spider-Man figure, but it's a cool costume, cool design. Then we've got our other, what is this? I forget what this one's called. I forget a lot of these. I have too many of them. But it's the reverse suit from, what was it, Freedom Foundation, I think? The reverse Freedom Foundation suit. It's not a great figure, to be honest. The paintwork on it is kind of janky as far as the lines between the black and the white. Then we've got, what's his face here? This was when Peter Parker went bad and became like a different version of Venom or something. I can't remember. I'm not going to remember all these figures. But it's pretty cool. I think it was this in an alternate universe or something like that? Or was this in the main 616 timeline? I can't remember what that was, but it's kind of a Venomized Peter Parker. I don't think it's anti-Venom. Is it anti-Venom? I don't know. Then, of course, we've got our Spider-Man Noir figures right here. So we got both of them. We've got the animated Spider-Man Noir, and we've got the comic book Spider-Man Noir, and animated Spider-Man Noir does not want to stand up very well because his cloak is just a little too crazy. I still like this old Spider-Man Noir, even though it's just kind of on this old buck that we've seen for a long time with a coat we've seen for a long time, just kind of done up in black, and he didn't come with a hat, which kind of sucks. This is actually a really cool figure. I like this one a lot, but I need to get a soft goods coat for him. Look how far the coat sticks out in the back. Throws him off balance, makes him hard to pose. It's kind of crazy, but it's a decent looking figure outside of that coat. And then lastly, we have my Mondo Spider-Mech here that doesn't even really fit on screen, which I absolutely love this thing. This thing's so cool. And I just kind of pretend like it's a giant cyber Spider-Man, you know? Like, I don't know, they put his brain in a giant mech, and that's why he's twice as tall as all the other Spider-Man. Even though it's, you know, supposed to be like 1/128th scale or whatever it's supposed to be, because this figure is supposed to be like the size of a skyscraper. I don't know, but I still think he works well in my collection as is. I love that figure quite a bit. But there's all my one-off Spider-Man costumes. Now we're going to take a look at something else. All right, so now we get into all my movie Spider-Man figures. So up first, we've got an SH Figuarts. I guess this is just the regular Spider-Man Homecoming figure. It's pretty decent, but these SH Figuarts figures are honestly too small for my collection. I like them, but they run too small. And then this, of course, is the I don't remember which suit's which. I honestly don't. I think this one is from Far From Home. His kind of tech suit from Far From Home, or Iron Spider suit, or whatever it's supposed to be called. Also SH Figuarts. And he's gonna fall down. He falls down all the time. Then, of course, we've got the Iron Spider suit from Marvel Legends, which I think is... I think this one's from the 3-pack, so the webs are actually painted on this. This is probably the best one that they put out, because it's the only one where the webs were actually painted. Then we get into our Spider-Man Homecoming, original Spider-Man Homecoming, not one of those re-releases from back in the day. Oh, he is dusty. He's been on my shelf for a long time. But still, I think a solid figure, and one of the only ones, other than that last one, that they actually painted the web lines in on him. So, you know, that's always nice when they actually paint the web lines. Then we got one of the other Spider-Man Iron Spider suit things. This one's the one from Far From Home? No Way Home? I don't know. The one where he's got... I don't know, the black doesn't look black, it looks a little more gray-green, but I put a Peter Parker head on that one. We've got another, I have 3 of these Iron Spider suits for some reason. I think one from each movie, if I remember correctly, from Hasbro. I don't know how I ended up with all of them, but the one from the 3-pack's the best one. Got that one there, just plain Jane, nothing really to talk about there. Then this one I think is another one, Far From Home. Is this Far From Home too? I don't even remember, just the black and red. No, this one is this is No Way Home, right? I don't even remember. I don't remember which one this one is, but they're all Marvel Legends. Then of course we get into, this one is Far From Home, his night monkey or whatever spy costume it was that he had, which is a decent figure. I actually like this figure. It's pretty good, pretty solid. I dig it. And then we get to his kind of wannabe Scarlet Spider figure here, where we've got, which is weird because this is like the tallest of all the figures, which is kind of why I have him kind of crouched a little bit, because otherwise he's taller than all the rest of the figures that are supposed to be the same character. Look at that. If I stand him up properly, he's taller than all the other Spider-Man figures, which doesn't make any sense because he's supposed to be at his youngest here. Then we get into the figures from No Way Home. So we've got our Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, we have our Final Swing Suit Spider-Man, and we have our Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I like all 3 of these. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man could be better. I don't like the hips and legs on this one, but other than that, I think it's decent. It's okay. But those are all decent. I love these 2 figures right here. I think those are great. They're just great classic-looking Spider-Man figures. We've got a little teeny... Look at this thing. This thing is tiny. It's tiny. It's smaller than the SH Figuarts figures. Just to kind of show you this. It's smaller than SH Figuarts. There's a little Revoltech from way back in the day. This is supposed to be Amazing Spider-Man from 2012, Revoltech. It's an awful figure. It really is an awful figure. I don't like it. I just ended up with it. So it is what it is there. We've got our Amazing Spider-Man 2 from Marvel Select, which I love this figure. It's a great figure. It is, in my opinion, the best Andrew Garfield sculpted Spider-Man figure that we have as far as sculpt and paint. The articulation's awful for a Spider-Man figure, but as far as sculpt and paint goes, it looks great. Problem is, it's 7-inch scale, and that's a big problem in my opinion, to have him fit in with the rest of the collection. Then we have my original Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2, or Amazing Spider-Man 2 I should say, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, which is another really small figure. It was even too small at the time that they made this figure. It was smaller than your average Marvel Legend. Goofy articulation, but it's, you know, it's a classic looking suit. I wanted it in my collection, even though it's not the greatest figure. Now, as far as my favorite Tobey Spider-Man figure, I have my Spider-Man 2. I think this is Spider-Man 2 Superposable whatever. That's a custom head that I got off of eBay or something like that. That looks fantastic, and a friend of mine painted that up, and we put that on there. I have the original head still. Actually, his head's sitting a little too high there. Gotta pop it down just a little bit so it sits down a little bit lower. But great sculpted, great paint by my friend Collector Express, who did that for me. But that's my favorite Tobey Spider-Man figure that I have, which is that original Spider-Man 2 Superposable figure. Alright, and here is my Toy Biz Spider-Man. I don't have a lot of them. Toy Biz made way more than this. These are just some of the ones that I have picked up over the years that I still really like, even though a lot of them are goofy looking with ball joint hips and things like that. I still really love these figures. We have this one. This is, of course, first appearance Spider-Man. He used to have web wings on him. He no longer does, but he's still in really good condition. Web lines look great. The sculpt is awesome, and there's just something about these old Toy Biz figures that I really like. And by the way, don't ask me what all these are, because I do not remember the names of what version of Spider-Man they are. This is one that's also really nice. I like the sculpt on this. Lacking in articulation, and I hate these old school articulated finger things, but for the time when this came out, which I believe this one was 2002, it was a really cool figure. I don't remember which variation of it that it was. Some of you guys in the chat will probably know these better than I will. These are just random ones I've picked up over the years that I just liked. I like them. Look, Spider-Man's my favorite character. This one, to this day, still one of my favorite Spider-Man figures. I love this thing. He's got the kind of the first appearance colors to him, with the kind of instead of blue and red, it's kind of black and red, but he's got that highlighting on the black, which I just love. This one does have the yellow eyes, which I don't know if they ever lit up. Maybe they did at some point. Certainly not since I got him. He's got more modern Marvel Legend articulation on him as well, with thigh cuts and bicep swivels and all that kind of stuff. Not completely. The ankles and wrists are more old school Toy Biz, but everything else is fairly modern as far as this articulation, and this is an old figure. But I just love this look, this kind of skinny look, because for me, Peter Parker was just the skinny dude. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a big ripped dude. Like, he was in good shape, but he was kind of the skinny, nerdy kid, and I just love this look for this guy, and I don't remember which version this is. I know they used this sculpt several times in different color schemes and decos, but I don't remember what it originally was, if that's the original one or if it was something else. Then we got the big shoulder ball dude right here with the ridiculous ball hips and the ridiculous ball shoulders, and he's crazy looking, but I don't know. I just love it. I love this old school crazy looking Spider-Man. It's a ridiculous sculpt, but I have an affinity for these old ones here. And then we've got I don't know which one this one is. Is this Hydro Suit Spider-Man? Or no, I don't think this one's Hydro Suit Spider-Man. I think that other one is. But just a crazy modern costume for some made up Toy Biz version of Spider-Man that I don't think we ever saw in the comics. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a cool, unique looking figure there that I'd love to see Hasbro redo. And then we have this one here. I think this is the Hydro Spider-Man, but what it is he's in the Spider-Man UK suit. It's the Spider-Man UK kind of general suit pattern. But I think he had like a backpack and you could squirt water or something out of him. I don't know, I never had the backpack or anything, and it like attached to his arm right here. And just kind of a crazy Spider-Man that we've got there. And then there's this one, which has like almost no articulation, single jointed knees, double jointed elbows for some reason, only back and forth at the hips, so he's kind of pre-posed like this. But it is a good kind of classic looking Spider-Man, except when you turn him around and then you see the back's blank and got this red spot on him, because he had a backpack where he shot like a missile out the back, and I took the backpack off, and that's what it looked like underneath the backpack. No Spider logo or nothing, and just kind of this red spot on the back. But yeah, these are my kind of old school Toy Biz versions of Spider-Man that, to this day, I still love them. All right, so now we get into my Miles Morales Spider-Man and some of the other associated Miles Morales, across the Spider-Verse versions of Spider-Man. So up front, we've got my Spider-Hams. So we got the two that came with the Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse Gwen Stacy's that came out. And they're the same figure but slightly different colored. This one's got more of a shiny plastic look to him, and this one's, I think, the first one that came out. He's a little bit got duller colors, but I kind of like the look of him a little bit better. Then we've got the Spider-Ham version that came out in was this the Kingpin wave? I can't remember what wave this was. Which is just, the upper body on this is okay. I wish he had articulated legs, because I really want a fully articulated Spider-Ham figure. Like, I really do. Upper joints and everything on him are decent, I guess, for his size. but that lower body doesn't move at all. But I still really like that figure, even though it's not a great figure, arguably. Then we got these other ones back here. These three right here, this version of Peter Parker, this Miles Morales, and this Miles Morales, those are all KO knockoff Sentinel figures, and they're all fantastic. I love them. I did videos on each one of them, and I can't tell you how much I actually really like those figures, even though they're knockoffs. They all cost me like, I don't know, 15 to 18 bucks a piece. They were really cheap, considering Sentinel figures cost like, you know, 100. And I really like them. This guy especially, I think, is a great version of that, you know, that original Into the Spider-Verse version of Peter Parker. Really like this figure a lot. I think they did a great job on him. I think they did a great job on all these knockoffs, to be honest. This is the one from Across the Spider-Verse, Miles. I think he's better than the Marvel Legend, and cheaper too. And then this is the Into the Spider-Verse Miles, ready to go. And I love that figure. Great little figure. I love them so much primarily because they didn't cost me a lot. Then we have the Across the Spider-Verse Marvel Legend, which is a solid figure. I like it. I think it's good. We've got this newer version of Miles that came out, which is an okay figure, I guess. I'm not big on the costume and the lack of articulation. It's okay at best. Then we get into the Hasbro Into the Spider-Verse version of Miles here, and I've got him with his mask on. Decent figure, I guess. And he's just gonna fall down. Who cares? Then we've got the old school. This might have been the first Miles Morales Marvel Legend we got. The old school Walmart exclusive from back in the day. This would have been what, early 2000s, about around early 2010s. So 2011, 2012, something like that. I can't remember when I picked him up, but decent figure, a little bulky and for Miles. But, you know, whatever. Then they get this one here. We got Peter B. Parker, who he's leaning up there against the back because I can never get him to stand up. Between his coat and his goofy feet, he never stands up there. But got him, so we're going to lean him back up over here. Then we've got our Gamerverse Miles, which is a great figure. Love this figure. I think it's probably overall the best, you know, kind of modern comic book version of Miles Morales that we have. And then we got a little kit bash that I threw together, which is just supposed to be Miles in like street clothes with some kicks on. I kit bashed that, as you can probably tell from some Star Wars Black Series figures. Just because I don't know. I felt like doing something. I wanted a more adult looking plainclothes Miles Morales, and so that's what I came up with. So there you go. There's my my Miles Morales collection. Alright, so here is my collection of Spider clones and black suited Spider-Man. Love most of these figures. These are all, I think, pretty great figures. To start with the black suited Spider-Man stuff, of course, we've got, I think, a great version of a young Peter Parker black suited Ultimate Spider-Man, which is on that same buck that the original Ultimate Spider-Man was on. Another great figure, which you'll be seeing soon. Love that figure. Think he looks fantastic. This is the original Pizza Spidey body black suited Spider-Man, which I have two of. I got another one there at the back. I don't know how I ended up with two of them, but I have two of them, so there you go. That's, I still think holds up really well, because again, going back to what I said before, to me Spider-Man is a skinnier guy. He's not big and ripped. Like, he's ripped, but he's a thin dude. He's kind of a thin, nerdy dude, and that Pizza Spidey buck, I think, is a great buck for him for the overall sculpt. Not the greatest articulation on that buck compared to modern stuff, but overall sculpt, I think, is really good on that guy right there. That leads me into another somewhat of a Pizza Spidey-esque body with some changes to it, just a little bit. I don't remember what version of Black Suited Spider-Man this is, with the pointed eyes and the different logo and the Venom-looking feet. I don't even know. I think he's cool looking, but I don't know what that comes from, what storyline. Not one that I've ever read. Then we get to the new Black Suited Spidey, which I know is a lot of people's favorite, and it's beautifully articulated. But again, it looks too big and bulky for me. It's on that Renew Your Vows body. It's too big and bulky for Peter Parker for me. I like the, you know, Pizza Spidey look, which again, oh look, we're knocking them all down. That's okay. Who cares? The Pizza Spidey look to me, looks much more like Peter Parker, kind of a taller, slimmer looking dude, as opposed to the bulkier guy that this is. Just doesn't look like Peter Parker to me at all. But keeping up with the black suit of Spider-Man, this is kind of a stealth suit looking Spider-Man that I threw together with a G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes body, and swapped out the hands and the head with that Spider-Man Noir head, just to do something different that I thought looked cool. Kind of in an homage to that stealth suit from Spider-Man Far From Home, I guess. Kind of like that, but I think that actually looks cooler than that suit does. Then we got this one. I don't remember what this one is from. Is this like one of the versions of his Velocity suit? I can't remember, to be honest. I'm not sure what that is, but cool looking, you know, black and green. I think that's a cool looking combo there, but I just don't remember what storyline that's from. Got another kind of just kit bashed one here. This is a Pizza Spidey body that's solid black. I put some of the I don't know which version of Spider-Man's hands that is, and then a what version of Spider-Man's head is that? I don't know. The web lines aren't painted on the head, but they're sculpted in, but they're not painted. But just another kind of a stealth suit Spider-Man that I kit bashed because I had some extra parts. Thought, you know what, why not? Then we get to this awful figure here that's like technically 5-inch, not 6-inch scale. This is from Spider-Man 3, the black-suited Spider-Man. It's awful articulation, awful. There's nothing good about this figure. I don't even know why I picked it up, but I just did on a whim one day. And you know, I didn't pay a lot for him or anything, but it's not a good figure. For some reason it's worth a decent chunk of money, relatively speaking. Like, I mean, I think the thing goes for like $40 for some stupid reason, even though it's an awful figure. But got that one there. I got my absolute favorite black suited Spider-Man right there. I love this one. This to me evokes kind of Eric Larson's artwork. This is from the Red Hulk Build-A-Figure wave. And I love the blue accents over the black, and I like the very comic booky proportions as far as the sharp angles on the musculature and everything for this guy. I love this. This is my favorite black suited Spider-Man right there. Love that figure. And then we have this piece of crap right here, which is this is a kit bash custom that I made out of an old school Union Jack figure, and he's not good at all. This is like one of the first customs I ever did, and I hand did that spider logo on the front, which looks awful. Yeah, I don't know. I keep it on my shelf just because, like, you know what? It was a custom I did years ago, and he's too shiny, and the paintwork's not good, and it's bad, but I keep him on my shelf because why not? Then we get into all the figures that fell down over here, my Spider clones. So we've got what I believe is the first Marvel Legends Ben Reilly Spider-Man from early Hasbro days. And it's not a good figure, to be honest. I mean, I guess it was decent for the time. Maybe not even, because, you know, Toy Biz had done better sculpts and better articulation than this thing has, but it was a Ben Reilly, right? Like, it's, so, I mean, you know, if you're a Spider fan, you pick it up. Then we got this one right here. This is, again, Ben Reilly, but on the Pizza Spidey Buck, which still, as far as sculpt goes, not articulation, my favorite Spider-Man Buck as far as just looking like Peter Parker. This is the one that came with the spare Carnage head and Carnage hands, and this is my favorite Ben Reilly Peter Parker Spider-Man. I love this thing. I still, to this day, love that one. Then we got the new one that's on the Renew Your Vows Buck, and again, a little more tolerable with Ben Reilly, because we can say, oh, Ben Reilly bulked up and got all ripped, right? So, yeah, it's a good figure. I mean, arguably, it is a better figure than the Pizza Spidey one. I just like the Pizza Spidey one better. Then, of course, we have the new Scarlet Spider that just came out, which I love. It's a fantastic figure. Highly recommend you go pick one up, since it is something that you can still pick up at retail. I do see it go out of stock a lot at, like, Big Bad Toy Store and stuff like that, but they eventually do come back in stock, usually. At least that's what I've seen. I hope by the time I upload this video you still can. But really, really good figure right there. And then, of course, we've got Kane. And this is, again, similar to this one right here. They might even be on the same buck. I'm not sure. I think they are, actually. I think they're on the same buck. Very comic booky proportions. And I just really like that for Spider-Man. And again, it gives me that kind of Eric Larson vibe. I dig it quite a bit. All right, and finally we get to our more classic Spider-Man looking figures, except for one, which I forgot to show you guys earlier, that went with the movie figures, and that is this one right here. This is my Spider-Man, or excuse me, Amazing Spider-Man #1 Hasbro Marvel Legend. It's not a great figure, but you know, I like having it in my collection. I like having it. It's the only one I have of him in that original Amazing Spider-Man suit. I've got a few different ones from him in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's the only one I got from Amazing Spider-Man 1, so I like having it here. Then, of course, we've got these two figures right here, which are both on the same buck. I think both came out, what, in 2022, mid to late 2022. We've got our first appearance Spider-Man from Hasbro, and then we've got our animated Spider-Man, which was the Walmart exclusive. I like this look for both of these figures. I like this sculpt for Peter Parker. I don't think it's as good as the sculpt for the Pizza Spidey, but certainly better articulation, and I think it's still better than the overly bulked up version like the Renew Your Vows. So I really like those two quite a bit. Speaking of Renew Your Vows, I got that one too. This is the new go-to for most people, and I think it is a great figure. The colors, the deco, the webbing, just everything on it. The articulation is fantastic. My only issue is he shouldn't be like damn near as big as Captain America. That's just not Peter Parker. He's just too ripped. He's just too ripped. That's the only thing. Other than that, it's a fantastic figure. I love it. But you know, that's just my only issue with that one there. Then, of course, we got Japanese Spider-Man. I know this figure gets a lot of hate. I don't care. I absolutely love it. I used to watch Japanese Spider-Man back in the late 80s, reruns on television. I love this figure. I know he's more blue and orange than blue and red. I don't care. I know he doesn't have great articulation, just standard Marvel Legends articulation instead of like my Spider-Man level articulation, but I don't care. I love this figure. You know, haters gonna hate. I don't care. I'm really glad. I've even got extras of him because I like him that much. Then we've got our Ultimate Spider-Man, which I think is one of the best Spider-Man figures ever. This is a perfect representation of a young, like 16-year-old Spider-Man. Absolutely love it. Love that figure. Love the previous black suit version that I showed you guys. Amazing figure. Highly recommend. If you're a Spider-Man fan, this is one of the ones to go out there and get. Then, of course, we've got my knockoff Revoltech here, which I just picked up not too long ago, actually. I think I picked it up a couple months ago or something like that. And I gotta say, not a big fan of Revoltech because of their articulation scheme and the ball joints and all that kind of stuff. But considering I only paid $17 with free shipping for this guy, it's a really good figure. Like, if you're not the biggest fan of Revoltech and just like dedicated to collecting their stuff, but you want to check this figure out as I knock other figures down, this is definitely one to try and pick up because it's done really, really well. Nice tight joints, good articulation. Got that Revoltech look to him, which I know a lot of people don't like. But for the price, I mean, who cares, right? Like, it still looks pretty good. All right, so then we get to these two figures right here, which are our official and knockoff versions of the Mafex. So this is the official, this is the knockoff. I've done a review between those two and just done the comparisons. This Mafex is, I think, the greatest Spider-Man figure of all time. I think it's the best Spider-Man figure we've ever gotten. It is the perfect sculpt. It is the perfect deco. It is the perfect articulation. It is, in my opinion, the most perfect Spider-Man figure we have ever gotten. And this knockoff that you can pick up for like $15 is not a bad way to go, to be honest, if you don't want to spend the like $100 or so plus to pick this guy up here. This is a great alternative. It is lacking in some ways from the official version, I will admit. And I would recommend, if you can, get the official version. It is better. But if you don't got a lot of money to spend, that's not a bad one to get, to be honest with you guys. I mean, to be completely honest, it's really not a bad figure. And then finally, we've got, I think might be the newest Spider-Man that I've added to my collection, as again, I keep knocking stuff down. And that is the Mafex. I was about to say Mafex. That is the Mezco Ditko era Spider-Man. This figure, I think is great in a lot of ways. Not perfect. He's got some downsides. There's no doubt about it. He's got some downsides. And I would hesitate to say he's worth the like $120 that he costs. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm definitely glad that I have him in my collection. It's definitely a cool figure. As a huge Spider-Man fan, I really enjoy having it. However, it's really hard to say it's worth the price. While it is certainly, I think, the best Ditko era Spider-Man I have ever seen, it's not the best Spider-Man I've ever seen. And for the money, I want this thing to be like the best Spider-Man figure I've ever seen, and that's going to be my Mafex over there. So love having it. Kind of hard for me to recommend it to other people, though. But that is it, guys. That is my Spider-Man collection. I know this is a long video, but thank you guys for watching and sticking around. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I know a lot of you guys out there are as well, and I would love to see more videos from you guys out there like this, showing me your Spider-Man collection. I love watching these videos. Carbon Scoring does these like tub videos that I love watching, where he goes through all his different versions of different characters, and that kind of inspired me to do this video right here and show you guys all the different versions of Spider-Man I have. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I do appreciate you guys watching, and I want you all to remember to always, always, always enjoy your collection.